Hello and welcome everybody to today's talk by Lisa Rutter from Dementia Club UK. Lisa Rutter is the Chairman of Dementia Club UK and she's here today to speak to Middlesex University about her work in the community with an insight into the role of carers. Dementia Club UK goes above and beyond to help provide support to those suffering with dementia and also, importantly, to their carers and families to put smiles on their faces and give them a better quality of life. Their aim is to raise more awareness and stamp out the stigma associated with dementia. They deliver professional advice and information in a social environment where their members can relax, make friends, and find a friendly ear when times are hard. They run 3 sessions a week for members with dementia and 1 session a week to support carers, all currently via Zoom. Now, Lisa is a councillor for Brunswick Park Ward in the London Borough of Barnet. She was the mayor of London Borough of Barnet from 2011 to 2012. And in her mayoral year, one of her charities was the Alzheimer's Society. With the money raised, Lisa founded the first Alzheimer's Society Dementia Café in the London Borough of Barnet, which was launched in August 2013 at the Finchley Memorial Hospital. Lisa, who is a qualified fitness instructor, was running the very successful Alzheimer's Society Dementia Café monthly over 2 years. And as members increased, she realised that there was a need to provide more sessions. A fundraising event at Saracens Alliance Park in December 2014 resulted in the chairman of Saracens wanting to support and provide funds for Lisa to be able to run weekly sessions. The Saracens Dementia Club was launched in April 2015, and weekly sessions started on the 22nd of April 2015. Lisa created the registered charity Dementia Club UK, which we're discussing today, which continues to be sponsored by Saracens, and sessions continue to run weekly online, but previously they were, as I say, at the Finchley Memorial Hospital and also often at the Town Hall in Hendon, which is a great location. Each session aims to provide professional advice and information, gentle exercise to music, and fun activities in a social atmosphere. Various speakers join and support the sessions alongside 2 GPs who volunteer their time and attend most sessions. I'd like to end the introduction to Lisa with their fitting quote: "Dementia Club UK provides people with another lifeline, giving care and support, professional advice, and fun activities daily and above all hope." I know from observing a session that this is absolutely true, and I'd like to hand over to the fantastic Lisa Rutter.
Wow, well, thank you very much. I think that's a fantastic intro. You've said everything almost. First of all, I'm delighted to be here at your parents and carers network session. And thank you very much, Christiana, for inviting me. I want to give as much chance as possible for you to ask me any questions, but what I'll do first of all, I'll just give you the reason why I started Dementia Club UK. My mum had Alzheimer's disease and she was diagnosed in 2010. This was something, you know, at the time I didn't really know about. I didn't understand what Alzheimer's, dementia. We know now that Alzheimer's disease is one type, one form of dementia. But at the time, it was so difficult. I went through so many challenges, so many difficulties with my father. There's no textbook. As carers, you know, we care for our loved ones, and whether they have dementia or any other, you know, disability, we don't know what to do. There's no textbook that says to us, okay, today this is what you need to do. I was faced in that situation where, you know, me and my father, we had no idea where to go, what to do. We read lots of leaflets, of course, and the Alzheimer's Society does provide you with very good leaflets and information, but that wasn't enough because every person's an individual and every person's care is individual. So it's been very, very difficult, but we learned a lot. And what I learned from that, I decided, you know, I want to help other people. So when I was given the chance, when I became the mayor of the borough, I decided that Alzheimer's Society was going to be one of my charities. And I raised £60,000 and divided that equally amongst all my charities. But I wanted to give everything, you know, everything I'd learnt, all the challenges and all the difficulties that I had gone through. I said I wanted to be able to be there for other people, to be able to help them So as Christiana said, I set up the charity. I'm the founder and the chairman of Dementia Club UK. We have 6 trustees, and one of them is a doctor, Dr. Angela Parker, who we're very grateful being one of our trustees. And we do everything we can to be there. Dementia Club UK is not only for those who are suffering with dementia, but also for the carers and families. And that is so important, because we can forget carers sometimes, and we, you know, somebody can ask you, oh, how's, you know, but what we go through is very, very difficult. And we just sometimes need someone to talk to, someone that can listen to us, someone that, you know, can say, oh, wow, I thought I was alone. I didn't think, you know, other people had similar problems, similar issues. And this is what Dementia Club UK is all about. I'm giving people that opportunity to get together. If they're lonely and isolated, they get together, they come, they sit, they meet other people with similar circumstances, similar problems, and they're able to talk. Being able to talk is just, it just lifts a burden off you, and, you know, makes you feel happy again, gives you another lifeline, gives you something to look forward to. And Helen would know, because Helen's here this afternoon listening, and I know her mum comes to the Dementia Club sessions, and it's been a great lifeline for them. So I'm going to speak to you a little bit about before the pandemic, before I start talking to you about what we do now. Because before the pandemic, as Christiana touched upon, I was running 12 dementia clubs in the Borough of Barnet and also in Camden. And these dementia clubs were in different locations around the borough. And one of them, as Christiana said, was at Hendon Town Hall, where Middlesex University was there. So it was always lovely when we had some students and Christiana and, you know, some other professors drop in and have a look to see what we were doing. But the 11th of March last year is a date that Helen would remember, that we will never forget. It was a day when I had to stand up at the Finchley Memorial Hospital and say, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to suspend all the dementia clubs because of the COVID-19. It was so tearful moment when everybody had to leave that last session. I did, of course, keep in contact with everybody by email, by phone. I also did food parcels for those who were most vulnerable, you know, because they didn't have any close families that were able to keep in touch with them and bring them food. So I was there, and I was also there for the most vulnerable, putting them in touch with the council to make sure that they had support, which was important. But that wasn't enough. I was still getting a lot of calls, people very depressed, people feeling isolated, lonely. They had a shock to their system, because they used to come to the Dementia Club every day before the pandemic, and it was something they were used to. And it was, as I said, not only for those living with dementia, but for the carers and families. It was just, you know, somewhere where they felt happy. And this was a very big shock to their system. So that's when I decided, you know, I've got to do something. I never considered in a million years that I would start any Zoom sessions. You know, somebody said to me, Zoom session, I thought, I wouldn't ever consider, you know, Zoom sessions. You know, I'm not very technical myself. I have to rely on my husband. You know, when the computer goes wrong, you know, Mark, please help. So we started the Zoom dementia clubs, and, you know, it started first just one a week on a Monday. It became very popular. So we decided to do Tuesday and then Wednesday. So what we are doing is Zoom dementia club afternoon sessions 3 times a week, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. And we also do a carers group meeting every week on Tuesday evening from 7 o'clock to 8:30. And it's been absolutely amazing. I never thought that this would be taking off the way it has. It's opened up to not only members, that used to come before the pandemic, but we're getting a lot of members from around the country. So people from up north, just everywhere around the country, people are just wanting their hearing. I'm getting referrals from GP surgeries, the Alzheimer's Society, Age UK now, because they've been given the contract by the council from, it used to be the Alzheimer's Society, but now Age UK are sending me referrals as well. And, we get so many people coming, and it's been a lifeline for them because, as you know, these lockdown measures have not been easy for everybody, really, not just for the vulnerable, but for all of us. It's really sort of touched upon us, mentally. It's caused a lot of isolation for a lot of people, and giving them this option of a Zoom, to join a Zoom, has been a lifeline again. It's also been amazing because a lot of people, the more senior people, who always used to say to me, no, I can't do computers. No, I will not do a computer. I don't know how to use a computer. But what we've done is that we've been able to, through FaceTime, been able to see what sort of hardware they've got, and go through with them. This is how we can set you up. And that's what we've done. We set them up, and we're now holding many sessions. Absolutely, so many people are joining us. I want to touch upon what we used to do before going into what we do in the Zoom sessions. So before the pandemic, I used to run 2-hourly sessions. And in that 2 hours, we used to break it up into 4 parts. These 4 parts, I call it's my model, because I've written a paper, and Middlesex University has also confirmed, and they've done their paper and said that the techniques I use and what I do in the Dementia Club actually does work for those with dementia and for the carers and families. So a session is typically split into 4 parts. The first part, people come, they sit, they have tea and coffee and cake, very important. And they sit and they meet other people, they chat. This is the meet and chat time, and that has always been very important to start a session. The second part of the session, I would either bring an interesting guest, a speaker, and they would talk about something that was interesting for the carers. If there wasn't a speaker, I would do quizzes, I would do singing. And again, that would be something that everybody participates. I always made sure. The third part of the session would be the exercise part of the session. And again, this is very important because exercise is very important. And being a fitness instructor myself, I was able to take some of the classes, but I always try to keep an interest. So it wasn't just me. I would bring yoga teachers, Tai Chi teachers, and people who, can do salsa and a bit of line dancing, just to keep the interest, because it's for everybody and everybody can participate. So we start with chair exercises, very basic exercises. Those who are disabled and they can't do much, we will still get them to do some form of exercise. And then the fourth part of the session would be the music entertainment. And not only music entertainment, I bring in various music entertainers, different entertainers, but the activities, the games part, which again, very important to stimulate those who can't get involved with anything. You know, when the carers came up to me and said, I can't get my loved one to do anything. He or she will not can't get interested in anything, can't do anything. An example which I will give you is one day I was playing an Elvis song, for example, and the carer was there with her loved one, and he would never get up to do anything or smile or participate. When I played this Elvis song, though, something had happened. He suddenly got up from his chair, and his wife stood up with him. He turned to her, looked at her, smiled, and started taking small little steps to try and dance with her. That was just so overwhelming. The carer was in tears. Even I was in tears, because I thought that was such a moment, such a wonderful moment. And these are the sort of things that we do to bring people together, to give them another lifeline, to give them time to talk and express themselves, which is just so important. So those are the 4 parts, and those are the 4 parts which I talk about in my model. And that's the paper that Middlesex University have written and researched Dementia Club UK and confirmed that the techniques I use are successful. Coming back now to the Zoom sessions that I do, I have translated what I was doing physically before the pandemic very similarly in the Zoom sessions. I know it's difficult because you're not actually physically there, but I'm still delivering the 4 parts. And not only the 4 parts, but I'm adding a little bit extra. I'm not strictly 2 hours. I go 2.5 hours, and people love that. So I am again giving them a similar 4 parts of the model. So in a Zoom session, we would start, I would greet everybody very quickly. And at the moment, what we've decided to do, I start with the Lisa and Mark karaoke show. You'd say, what is the Lisa and Mark karaoke show? Well, it's not Lisa doing a karaoke, don't worry. I put music on, and we provide the lyrics on the screen. So people can read, they can see the words on the screen, and they can sing to their favorite songs. This has been a great hit, and everybody enjoys that. So this is every day, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But on the Tuesday, I give everybody the opportunity to send me requests. So if they have special requests, song requests, we do our utmost. As I said, Mark is the technical one, my husband. So we have to search, and it's quite difficult. It's not easy, but we try to get what their requests are. And the Tuesday is the change when we put in the new requests, and everybody absolutely loves it. I do a little script and I introduce each song, and I say, all right, this is Helen and Christella's song, for example. And sometimes Helen brings Ava in, which is fantastic. She's been so sweet and wonderful. So we do that. And then after the karaoke, that is when I open to a 30 minutes meet and chat. So even though we're not physically at a dementia venue, it's a meet and chat, and people know, they bring their cups of teas, they're eating their lunch, they're having a chat, and they're still, through Zoom, through the gallery, they're able to meet other people. I introduce them, of course, if there's new people there, I give them a quick intro, and they all start making friends. And that, again, is so important. After the meet and greet and the chat, we then have the music entertainer who comes on for 30 minutes. He or she, I have different entertainers, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Again, I like giving variety, and each entertainer is different, and they add their own little magic, which everybody enjoys. We then have the exercise. Exercise, as I said, is very important. And again, it's not just one person. Every day, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, is a different exercise instructor. And again, it makes sure that everybody participates. That is just so important. I don't just provide, it says it's chair exercise, but it starts with a chair exercise where those who aren't able to physically stand or physically do much, they can still participate, whether it's just lifting their arms up, whether it's just doing little finger exercises, perhaps. Just physically doing something is just so important. So we do that. And then it adapts gradually and gets the other people who physically want to do a little bit more energetic exercise. It gives them the option as well. They stand and the exercise instructor will either do a bit more upbeat and a little bit of salsa and a little bit of line down and a bit of disco dancing, which we've been doing lately, the John Travolta. So it's for everybody. Then when we finish that, it's back to me where I will read them a joke. Jokes are fantastic. You know, I always say, Helen knows, laughter is the best medicine. And we all know that. So it's just very important to make people laugh. I read poetry sometimes. I also, everybody very much likes the bingo. We do a virtual bingo. And everybody who joins, I give them their unique numbers. And we do the bingo and everybody is so excited. The concentration when I start to play the bingo is amazing because everybody is in that challenging mode. They want to win. And I do say to them after every 3 wins, if they have 3 wins in a game, I come round to their house if I can, if it's local and not too far. If it's up north in the country, I can't. But they get a gift. So that gives them something to look forward to. And they'd love to see me in my PPE at the moment on their doorstep with my face mask and hand over a gift. It's quite lovely. So that's what we do in the afternoon sessions. Now, the carers group meetings have been really, really popular as well. These are every Tuesday evening, and these are, as it says, carers meetings. And, you know, as I said, this is very important part of the sessions that we do. I sometimes bring speakers that will talk about subjects of concern to the carers. I would do my utmost to invite them and bring them along. We're also at the moment doing seminars. I've got somebody who's trained in doing seminars and will talk about various topics, again, that carers would like to talk about. An interesting topic we discussed recently was sundowning. I don't know if you all know about sundowning. This is something which somebody who's living with dementia, as the dementia progresses, they suddenly get very confused and agitated towards the afternoon, late evening, because they suddenly feel they don't know what time it is, and they feel they just don't know what time they need to go to sleep. This causes a lot of problem for the carer, because the carer could be up all night because the person who's experiencing the sundowning doesn't understand what time they should be going to sleep. So that's one of the subjects, but other subjects that we have discussed, and it's been due to the lockdown and the pandemic, is the visiting in care homes. I'm sure you've all heard about, and which has been in the papers quite a lot. Being a local politician has helped. And I'm also the health person for the borough, the health champion person for the borough. So concerns were brought to the carers group meeting because some of the carers were unable to visit their loved ones in care homes. So I have been able to represent the carers who've brought the concerns to the council and said, look, you know, this is not making much sense. We need to bring this to the attention of the government and we need to make these changes, because the government is not understanding that some people in care homes only respond to touch. It's all very well going to visit somebody who's able to still respond to you and say, hi, I'm okay, thank you, I'm fine. But if their dementia, for example, has progressed to the point where they don't understand, and they can only respond to you physically being there and being able to touch their hand and say, don't worry, I'm here with you. They have not been able to do that. And that has been so tormenting, so devastating for the carers. I was able to talk, and I took it through to our MP, Teresa Villiers, who spoke at the government, and we've been able to change that around. We had at the carers group meeting, in fact, and Helen knows that we had 2 care homes from up north who came down to talk to us, saying how their practices, they never stopped relatives from visiting their loved ones, and how they, in their eyes, they were able to still carry on by doing their own safe practices to give those people the way to still carry on to see their loved ones in care homes. So there was that conversation, and there was also about also the vaccines that we've also talked about, because this was again something that I had to raise at council, where us, the carers, were not prioritised. It was carers at care homes, but what about the unpaid carers like us? You know, we also look after our maybe elderly, it doesn't have to be elderly, you know, they're disabled. We look after our people. We need to be in that priority list. We were not on the priority list. So again, I stood up at council and made sure, and I got us onto priority 6 as a footnote added, those carers who receive carers allowance, those carers who are looking after vulnerable, extremely vulnerable people should get the vaccine. And that's how Helen and I were able to get our vaccines as well. So it's examples of what we've been discussing, but we discuss various other topics at the carers group meetings. And these are brought by the carers, and we always listen. We don't stick to, this is what we're going to do. If the carers come into the group meeting and they've got a really a burning concern that they want to talk about, I'm flexible. We will talk about it. I'm not going to say, no, not going to listen to that. We're going to talk about it. No, we will talk what we need to talk about, because at the end of the day, I've set up the carers group meeting for the carers, and it's important for them to feel that they've got a voice and that they are able to express themselves at that meeting. And if I can bring any professionals as well to be able to listen, to be able to give advice, then I will also do that as well. I mean, we also have Admiral nurses that have attended our carers group meetings, which has been really interesting for our carers. So that is very briefly what we were doing before the pandemic, what we are doing since the pandemic. Obviously, there's light at the end of this dark tunnel, and you know, we're hopefully looking to, once everybody's been vaccinated, we're looking at hopefully June, July, when everybody will come out of this dreadful lockdown and we can all get to, I don't know, a new normal, I call it, not back to the old normal. It'll certainly be a new normal. But you know, whatever we do, I think I will still continue to do at least one afternoon session, a Zoom session. I will still carry on with that, at least one a week. And I will definitely be continuing with the carers group meetings as well, the Zoom carers group meetings, because that's been so important for a lot of people. And so important as well, because Zoom sessions give the opportunities for other people who can't get out, who can join, and people from around the country that can join. and it brings a lot more people. And at the end of the day, Dementia Club UK wants to reach as many people as possible and help as many people as possible. I hope that's given you a sort of rough sort of synopsis. I know we haven't got much time. And as I said at the beginning, I want to give you time also if you want to ask me some questions. So Christiana, is that a good time? Is that okay?
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. That was brilliant, Lisa. Thank you.